Welcome to Fargo Talks Fargo, a podcast on the... Did I just say Farco? Welcome to Fargo Talks Fargo, a podcast on the FX television series. And after, God, what episode number would this be for us? Like 87?
I have no idea.
88? God, I can't keep track anymore. Hey, Sharpie, how are you doing?
Hey, welcome to Fargo, the hot dish. It's like Fargo and Farkle? Is that a game?
Yeah, Farkle. I don't know if I think I've only
That's
played
like the
it once.
dice game. Purely based on chance. I hate that game.
Because the game's rigged.
Because you can't strategize.
I'm sorry to hear that. Well, either way, here we are.
Welcome to the hot dish.
Already got email that I haven't seen yet from all sorts of folks. So thanks to everybody. I got to say, this last week or so has been the most email I think we've ever gotten.
That's great. I love a full mailbag.
If I didn't respond to you, I apologize. I said that before, but it's hard. I try to at least drop everybody a little quick note, but if I didn't get you a note, it doesn't mean I didn't see it. I forward everything to Sharpie.
You are like the real life Santa Claus. Everybody writes you letters and you get back to some of them.
But you don't know if I'm real. No,
I don't. I haven't seen you physically in person in years, so.
God, it really has been a couple. Has it been a couple years since we've seen each other in person? It might have been. Well, okay, let's talk about this show. This is the Hot Dish, where we do our quick hot takes. It is currently 10:28 p.m. Central, 9:28 Mountain Time for you. So 28 minutes ago, or a little less than that, this show ended. We haven't talked.
Nope.
God damn, we're not in Oz anymore. We're in a different reality or world or something. What's your...
Yeah, which is kind of what we expected, right? We sort of wrapped up some of that Ozzy stuff, although we did see the Munchkin Land genocide in this episode, which was sad.
Rest in peace, Hummel statues.
Oh, yeah. We did see
buggers. What did they ever do to you, you know? Whoever did that. There's all sorts of people who aren't happy with Otis. Because he's clearly found himself. He's born again, so to speak, right?
Yeah, Palomino definitely had his hand in a lot of pockets, I guess. Because we know he's playing both sides with Loy and with the Fadas, but and then we find out there's other dirty cops too in the precinct a little bit. Yeah. So everybody kind of knew. Yeah. Shocker, dirty cops in a gang show.
in a gang show. It had to happen.
So, yeah, that had to happen. That was not a surprise.
I want to talk about the strange elephant in the room that I have a theory about that is not about what you think I'm going to say. Oh,
you think you know what I think you're going to think.
You think that I think that you know that I think you know about the thing I'm thinking about. No. The elephant in the room. Elephant in the room for me is the stoppage of production for COVID.
Is it because Satchel looks older?
Satchel looks older. There's green, and maybe it was that way on purpose because we've been talking about America being Oz. Yeah. There's no person who's the wizard. It's the country and the idea of the country that's the wizard. Mm-hmm. Not sure completely about that, as I've said, but I still feel pretty strong about how well we did coming up with our Oz stuff. Some people didn't think we were on the right track. It just, you know what, kids at that age, when they grow fast and they change. And I'm like, yeah, Satchel ain't the same kid we saw at the end of the last episode.
Yeah, I was watching with my girlfriend Audrey, and I was like, wait, did we just do like a time jump? Are we in the future? And then we were both like, no, that's definitely a COVID growth spurt there.
Well, but we are in the future.
I mean, we're definitely a little bit into the future, for sure.
It's 1951, and when we watch again, we'll probably look at some of the stamps on the papers, the newspapers, the timelines.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, so there was a little bit of a shift there, yeah.
They definitely made it a point. I mean, it's been long enough that 27 people have died, and it's dragged on long enough that Loy's not even living in his usual home. He's holed up in the Gadfly now.
The Gadfly Hotel.
Yeah.
Gadfly?
So, Gadfly. I don't know.
We don't know. We took that painting with him,
I gotta look back. Hey.
Nice job on that one.
Thank you. I feel like I'm crazy sometimes when I'm doing these things in the show, because sometimes I worry I'm missing something else. I'm like Otis. I just can't stop scouring the sides of this stuff for things that matter, and it turns out there's something that does matter about that.
Yeah.
And this Paris thing that we, like we said, we've been talking about Paris. We've been talking about the French in general, and some of the tragedy of the opera, Italian opera that's included, as well as the Wizard of Oz. And I feel like we've been doing a pretty dang good job this year. I don't think we're getting everything right, and some of it we've been helped along by
what's
great
to
hits.
say what's right and what's wrong. We haven't dove into the opera stuff as much as I would have liked to, and try to translate that to what's going on. But show's not over.
I think a lot of that stuff is just there to help us stay in that place, that tragic. There's so much tragedy in opera, love's lost, and all of that. But since we're on the hot dish, we can't get too far down the thing. I think the big point I would like to talk about that I think we'll talk about more. And I got a great tweet. So last week, Sharpie, I talked to you, and I had tweeted it, and then we talked about it, that I thought that Snowman was this hangover of colonial racism and all this blah, blah, blah. And I feel like kind of found out it's true. Fan Jamie tweeted us. Was it Jamie? No. Sorry. Jamie sent a nice thing into sending us to Mike Milligan's Crazy Beware the Jabberwocky monologue. But short attention span Tanya on the Twitter said, thinking about your Snowman racism equation, could he represent straight oppression instead? ? Not only are the only ones who've seen him BIPOC, but they are also all women. He's the patriarchy. I just came up with that. Might be wrong, she says.
That's great.
but I like it, and I feel like some of what we're saying, I feel came to fruition tonight. We found out that it's, what was the name?
Theodore Roach. So is Snowman Theodore Roach?
I think so, because they talked about his wooden nose, and then he was missing stuff, and his eyes were sewn shut, and he's just got like those blackness of eyes, and the creaking, all that stuff we're hearing in the water, it's all slave ship shit. And it's a stain that's hung on to their family, and we can't go too deep into this because we'll end up talking too long, but I'll tell you what, folks, buckle up. What else caught you that's my big piece that caught me, aside from some other stuff. But what was a big standout piece for you?
Yeah, well, with the Snowman stuff, I feel like we could talk about it for a long time. The whole wooden nose thing kind of weirds me out. Soda eyes things weirds me out. The idea, the fact that he's kind of, well, maybe we'll save that for later. Other
well, no, say what you're thinking. Get it out there. Get it out.
Well, because I agree that he is this symbol of racism and oppression. But it did seem, it did seem like he saved Ethelreda, and he maybe saved, not really, that gives him way too much credit, but it was almost like he was watching over the people that could see him as well. Or was he like egging on? I'm just forming this thought now, so I don't know if I can agree with it either.
My hot take on your hot take is that he is such an oppressive power that is so much worse than anything Oraetta had felt in her life. She thought she was the angel of death when she just found out she was barely even one of his minions, his or her minions.
His evil crushed her evil, thus stopping it.
Yeah. She just felt pure, like she experienced that crushing. I am over you. I'm behind you. I am always here. And that feeling for her was so awful. She couldn't do anything else but run.
I wonder if he'll transfer
and meanwhile,
to her now.
Ethelreda is sleeping through it.
Yeah.
In a way. But he is there. Of course, he shows up when there's, I don't know, man. It's bananas.
So was that
she
Joe?
She smells him too.
Yeah. Was that Joe Bulo?
Totally was Joe Bulo.
That was back with the Italians? Okay.
Talking with Abel. Ebel.
Yeah.
I feel like I have it wrong half the time.
And ravaging Otis's house.
Yeah. God, whatever.
Okay.
Man, that was another creepy thing. Not creepy. I think
I was fully expecting Otis to like step on a landmine or something.
In my notes, I wish I could find them real quick, but I wrote so many damn things down. It's hard when we're doing this show to scroll through my notes, but I basically was commenting that he seems changed. He seems different. Something it has changed in him after he did this horrible thing, and it's almost like he knows that he's done the best thing he could do, and that he was, even though he wasn't able to fully act on it, because he was smiling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Deffy had this like judgmental face, and Otis Weff goes out with a smile on his face to be rejoined with the person he loves, or at least he sort of went out on the right page. Like, yes, I get it. He gunned down some people in a train station, right?
That was bad.
That was bad, but somewhere after that, did seeing Deffy change him so that he was trying to get on the straight and narrow path. And, isn't that everyone's path to some sort of redemption? You cannot be 100% redeemed in a day. At some point, you got to get on the road. And unfortunately for him, he had crossed too many people on that path, and it caught up with him. It feels like it catches up with everybody in this show. Don't be a dick.
Totally surprised by the fall of Gaetano.
Totally surprised, but then totally not surprised.
Because he's a cartoon, Peg Leg Pete.
But not only that, it's just to me, that's really Coen Brothers, like the dumb luck of shit like that. We already saw Otis get wrapped up in the shower curtain that was similar, but in the actual movie, she's trying to run away with a shower curtain, and basically nobody clubs her. She knocks herself out when she falls down the stairs in the movie,
Mm-hmm.
And somebody's going to say like, oh, that's a scene from something. And, I've been so engulfed in the other things that I haven't thought about the Coen Brothers movie, like the film universe, as much as I probably should, but.
Yeah, this year I actually haven't gone through and like rewatched a ton of Coen Brothers movies like I have in previous years. So that stuff is a little bit distant in my memory. So if you know the scenes, hit us up and we'll talk about it.
Some very satisfying things, Sharpie, about both people that we kind of say are, that we've been thinking of as sort of Dorothy-esque characters, Satchel and Ethelrita. Both of them take things into their own hands and come to control. One through the threat of violence, the other through what I would label more of a educated, manipulative path, right? It felt really good, because when I heard him say, hey boy, I was like, be curious how they're going to... It's, one episode left. It's going to have to be a long one, don't you think?
Yeah, I expect it to be a long one. I was totally thinking there were 2 left, so I'm going to guess it's one long one.
I think there's only the one left, yeah. Yep. It's 11 episodes. I mean, I wonder if there would have been 12 without COVID, because hasn't there been 12 in the past? There's been 12 in the past.
Yep, that's why I thought there would be 2 left, but then when they said on the show tonight that there'd be one more episode, I was like, whoa, crazy.
Yeah. Buell stepping up hard, She knows what's what, and she's not fucking around, and it's just too bad Happy turns out to be a double crosser.
Yeah, so that was a surprise as well. We did kind of expect to see Happy come into the picture at some point. We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks. So we got a little bit of payoff there. But damn, Happy was a little bit of a letdown. Him and Leon really screwing things up.
All that over a belt whooping.
Yeah.
Which was a throwback to the original movie, because who was it beats him with the belt in the movie?
The Native American
guy?
About?
Yeah. Shep, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Speaking of us not remembering things, we didn't even. I mean, that's the other thing. Sometimes I see things that aren't like bowling pins or other funny things, and I don't like completely always connect them. But they're in the catalog somewhere. Mm-hmm. After coming off a highly stylized episode like last week, I still think this episode is packed with a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
we're introduced to another pair. Right?
Yeah,
cousins,
totally.
And on top of that, they get 2 weeks to figure it out. And
the pair of photos that Happy's cousin or Happy himself is like consulting with.
The minute I saw that, I was like, I'm totally, it was frustrating, because I was missing something I feel like I know.
Right.
Like there's something historically I
had that feeling as well.
And oh geez, Oraetta picked up by the popo, because good old Dr. Harvard woke up and pinned it on her. Not so good. Plus, we hear all those crazy stories about Gaetano and Adelina. Yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of stuff to unpack.
Yeah.
Let's save it for then.
Okay.
For them. Well, thanks, man. Happy hot dishing. And if you
delicious.
got anything you can think of, right? Send us a send us a tweet before we get the show recorded. We'll record later tomorrow night. But at Fargo Talks Fargo on Twitter, or email us at podcast@FargoTalksFargo. Sharpie, thanks for the serving.
Thanks, Bill.
Hot and delicious. Hot and delicious.
I'm full. Good night.